Hello and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. Do me a favor, use the comments and let me know if you can hear me. I've had some really entertaining issues with sound this morning, and I want to make sure that it's working. Um, so let me know in the comments. It looks like you can hear me, but I always want to make sure. Okay, so welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode number 129 in an ongoing series of live broadcasts created for folk with a growth mindset or folk who'd like to create one. It's created for folk who are focused on getting better at being who they be rather than merely getting better at doing what they do. There's an understanding that the latter is a natural outcome of the former. Great. So today, what I want to play with is this that the necessity may in fact be the mother of invention, but play is certainly the father. Huge fan of this concept. And again, for those of you who are just joining, do want to make sure that you can hear me. So please let me know in the comments. The playground today, this idea that necessity is the mother of invention. My God, we are in a time where we could definitely use some invention. And whether it's reinventing ourselves out of this, whether it's creating something new, this is the concept where, my goodness, this is a time for creating something new. And it's not going to be done without some infusion of energy. Yes, we can take this painfully seriously and we can look at these serious times. Yes, pandemic, yes, political craziness, yes, paradigm shift culturally. I don't want to make light of what's happening. And if we take what's going on seriously and we stay in that mode of this is something we have to work on, here's the deal: playing with new ideas and new concepts, experimenting with, which is play, new ideas and new concepts and new solutions. I will tell you, when I start with a new client, and my clients that are starting right now who are on here today will understand this personally. My welcome email starts with welcome to the coaching playground. I start from the beginning, helping people shift the energy and expectation of what we will be doing together. The, there's no need to make this be work. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a tremendous amount of shift and change in outcome, but does that have to come from work? It may seem like a play on words, and it may seem like something seemingly insignificant. And yet, just adding in the concept of play allows the folk I work with and allows you as well to change the energy around what you're doing. It's amazing how much more energy and effort and time and heart people put into something when they're playing than when they're working. If I say at the beginning of a coaching session, what are we working on today? It sets the energy very differently than what are we playing with today? Or even what do you want coaching around today? So if necessity is the mother of invention, play is certainly the father. The more play you can bring to the difficult things you are wrestling with, the challenges that you have right now, the more energy you have. Oh, it's amazing. Just the idea of playing with new concepts and new ideas, trying on new mindsets. I never say working on new mindsets. Remember when you were kids and how much time you spent with mom and dad's old clothes in that basket? It was dress up time. And how many costumes and outfits that you and the other kids made up, and the games and the creativity that was inspired. My God, think about all those. you know, I just remember how many people have the family pictures of everybody dressed up in some flavor of Western gear. And they've gone somewhere out to the Midwest United States and they've all come back with these dress up things. We did murder parties for years where they were all based on costumes. It is astounding how much we're willing to infuse play into areas of our lives everywhere except the work that we do. What if you brought play to your professional life? What if you brought play to figuring out how the hell you're going to move through whatever's coming over the next several months? Pandemic, politics, and paradigm shift. None of that's changing in the next several weeks or months. I mean, seriously, spoiler alert, the stuff that we're facing right now with the pandemic, the political craziness, and the cultural paradigm shift that's happening right now, that's been surfacing for decades, that is hitting boiling point, that's not changing in the next few days, few weeks, few months. So necessity is all around us. If necessity is the mother of invention, play is certainly the father. How will you bring play to what's surfacing in your life and what's possible by bringing play? So you've heard the term gamification. These little devices that we carry in our hands, the computer that you're sitting in front of, all the apps that you use, whether they're Mac apps, Windows apps, or mobile device apps. Oh my God, the amount of play that is injected to them. The business applications that I use, the gamification, the dopamine hits that are infused into that application design. Gamification is a huge component for interface design. The more play that can be injected into the user experience that enables the user to get the information they need in and out of that application. The reason that you pick up that phone on average 25 to 30 times a day, that's a minimum, by the way, is because of gamification. You don't have to have a single game on your mobile device, but gamification is baked into this puppy. Play is a natural part of the human condition. That's how we learn. So, what is it that makes us, when we become adults, all of a sudden say, oh, well, that's enough play now. We don't need to play anymore. Certainly not during the week, and certainly not during at work. No, no. That, for me, is a recipe for misery. Bringing play into your work, no matter how serious it is. Now, granted, let me be clear, bringing humor can be inappropriate. But bringing the concept and the freedom and the acceleration that is inherent in play, bringing the outcome of of experimentation, and inviting that into the work that you do, shaping things through the lens of play, playing with new ideas, new concepts, new mindsets. It's a huge piece of the book that's coming out that's based on this series. The Mindset Mondays with DTK, that book, a huge component of the Rewire framework, which is at the end of every chapter, is playing with new ideas, playing with new concepts. One of the E's is experiment. That very first E after reflect is experiment. Play is baked into that process. The W is not work, by the way, it's right. Work is not part of it. And that's important. What I want for you is to look how you can pull the energy of play into your world. Where can you play with new ideas? Where can you play with new concepts? Where can you play with new ways to tackle your to-do list? How does the how monster, which is so inclined towards the energy of work, how can you bring play in to achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve? It's interesting, what just popped into my head is the opposite of work is not work. The opposite of work is not play. Oh, I love that. Dan, thank you. Work is just play that you get paid for. And Dan, you'll be able to help me with this. When you love what you do, You'll never work another day in your life. Ah, there's a quote about work and play together, and now I'm going to have to go dig it up, and I'll put it into the thread when I find it. But yeah, work is just play that you get paid for when you love what you do. My dad was a physician. He knew when to be serious, he knew when to bring in humor, and he knew when to bring in play. And it was amazing how much his patients and his team and his staff and his partners leaned into his energy. So I love that. It's only work if you'd rather be doing something else. And I love, Sarah, I saw that you just changed your uh, profile photo on Facebook, and now it's a picture of your adorableness when you were little. Or is that one of your kids? It looks like you, Sarah. But that idea, even that is playful, bringing in your humanity, injecting and infusing play into the work you do. It doesn't mean you take your work any less seriously. Actually, it means you're taking it more seriously. Play is an inviting energy. So this week, the question for you is, where will you bring play to what you're working on? How can you bring play into your world as a way to serve your forward motion? I thought it was you, Sarah. So that's your opportunity. How do you get to bring it in? Dwayne, I love that you say playtime is joy time. I have been around you in a work environment so many times over the last 18 years. You bring play and infuse that energy into everything that you do. And it shows. There's a reason that people have continued to work with you even longer than we have. And so, what I want to say is this is your opportunity. It's Monday. Whatever time zone you're in, wherever you are, it's an opportunity to look at where will you bring play into your week. And again, the quote, I really want you to hear it again. Necessity may be the mother of invention, but play is certainly the father. So, where will you bring play into your week? There is plenty of necessity and plenty of call for invention and reinvention. Bring play. Bring play and share with this community how you're using it. Remember, you can always come to facebook.com/groups/mindset Monday, Mindset Mondays, and share the impact of bringing play to your week. Share it with our community. I'd love you to be part of it. And as I ask you every week between now and next Monday, what mindset will you choose?